So earlier I had mentioned I might work more in that distant colorful bush, or I might jump into the rocks. So I did not pick those options. I picked the third option. Some tree trunks were really bothering me still on this. So this one particularly, it was still very dark and I wanted the top to catch some light. Not to draw more attention to it, because as you can see, it's actually very low chroma light. But yeah, being light is higher value. That helps it to blend into the background a little bit more as it leaves the painting. There were also these two. Those two had much too high a chroma, and I did not like the shape of the brush strokes. The attitude of the brush strokes. They were too fuzzy, they were too weak, they had too high a chroma, and they looked hastily done. I used, I think, some cobalt blue before in those, and they were just too strong. So I changed the direction of the brush strokes, and I went with a little bit of ultramarine blue and raw umber to calm them down. And just continuing to move to our right here, this one bothered me. I liked it before, but the difference, the dramatic change between light and shadow on that trunk was so strong that it made the trunk appear to be a little too important, considering it's a little bit further away. And it also chopped it up too much. There was too much detail there. More strength than I wanted. So I put a few strokes on there. I took the dark side and lightened it up a little bit. And straightened a couple of things out. Just housekeeping stuff, you know? And then, oh yeah, I added a little more, another stroke or two onto that one just to give it a hint of light. And then I went to this foreground, this rocky structure in the foreground. Let me just back up here because I think I can have the whole painting in while I explain myself. I mean, you always have the right to explain yourself before you get punished, right? Okay. So, yeah, I liked this bedrock, this ridge of bedrock coming up in here. On its own, it was good. I liked the idea. As poorly painted, as poorly executed as it was, I still quite liked it because I liked the placement of it and the shape of it, because I knew I could do a better job of overpainting on it. By the time I have everything in here, I thought, no. We have this thing curving out and terminating just below the distant part of the scene, you know? The most important part of the scene, actually. And because it was so close to this line, and it was so central, we had the rocks terminating in the center, below this orangey blob in the center, below this high chroma yellow in the center, below this yellow blob in the center of the painting. It was just too much. I like the idea that it cradled this tree. And it still has a bit of that effect. Now, these rocks I still need to repaint. I need to reconfigure them a little bit. Also, what I did do is decided, all right, we'll have, the lower values against the light to provide drama. And as we come closer, at least for this band, I laid in ultramarine blue, yellow ochre, and a bit of burnt sienna. Very similar to the colors that I have on these limbs. Well, they are the same colors. And I thought that helped because it gave the foreground, rather than just all blah in the shadow, it gave it a bit of shape. That's going to continue a little bit, but We just haven't got there yet. Have not gotten there? I don't know. But yes, it provides a little more interest in the foreground. That's good. I'm still going to lay in a little bit of light on these rocks. And these rocks, as I've said, you know, from here, there, from here, this way, it's okay. From here, this way, it's horrible, and I should punch myself in the face. I won't because it hurts. But that's what I'm going to work on. I would say I'm going to work on that next. I don't know, because I never know. And then, of course, this trunk, which I waffle back and forth as to how much light it needs, you know? Now that I've softened this and made this disappear a little bit into the background more, I don't know if I want to make this lighter. If anything, if I go lighter, it's going to have to be higher chroma as well. But I'm warming up to the idea of not doing much to it. Maybe just a touch here or there. Yeah, visual devices, eh? Visual devices to modify and hopefully mature the composition a little bit. Devices. I hear from so-called professional journalists and, well, they're really mostly news readers, and from politicians, the word divisive. Well, all politicians use devices in their language. That's how they get away with the stuff they do. It's often used with the intention of saying that the people are divisive. It's two different things. To be divisive is to divide. To be divisive is to use devices. I'll never understand. I hear so much of it these days. Maybe I'm wrong. Please correct me. It's not a hill I'm going to die on, but that's what I learned growing up anyway. Divisive, divisive, very different. Okay, it's not supposed to be an English language lesson. I'm definitely done now. We'll see you, well, probably Monday. Talk to you later.